This is the concierge, sir.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Concierge Confidential. I'm your host, Brian Ortega, and in today's episode, we are going late night, meaning that we are going to be talking about the late night options that you can go get a bite, a drink, whatever, at here in Las Vegas, which there are a lot. So we're really going to just sort of focus on a couple of different places, things that I think are interesting, and also kind of like go over how you end up at one of these places. So we'll be diving into the 24-hour food spot coming up next. Okay, Ray, so let's go ahead and dive into the episode. So what are we talking about? We're talking about 24-hour spots. So this used to be much more prevalent in Las Vegas. Lots of 24-hour cafes, 24-hour bars that we actually still have today. So obviously this doesn't count any place that's on the strip that has like a casino bar that you can walk up to. They have to have those. It's actually a law, at least a law for them to have to be open 24 hours a day, unrestricted. But we're not going to have, a casino without a bar open 24 hours a day. So of course, those are great places to go, like to end up at. But these are places specifically that I kind of wanted to highlight that are kind of unique, especially for people who live in the city, who work in a 24-hour business, overnights, graves, and this is kind of some of the places that they would end up at. And honestly, some of these places are where they would end up at if they were out on the town, sort of like having an experience that night. Because if you are working a grave shift, you tend to not go to any place that is like on the strip or trendy. You're usually going to end up at, we'll go to our first thing, like a PT's or the Lodge or Distill. These are actually very common chains in Las Vegas that are open 24 hours. They typically have video poker, which is very popular to play like sort of late at night. But yeah, these are places that are open 24 hours a day. And to kind of give you the experience of a local 24-hour bar that is open all the time, usually it is pretty generic on the inside. It always has like somewhat of a like the Lodge. There's lots of lodges near my house, which I kind of just learned because they're there, and they're all basically look like ski lodges essentially. And you go in, there's a big giant sort of bar in the middle, usually very big, lots of beers on tap. A bunch of TVs in there. They usually have lots of video poker, which is like the reason that they stay open. A couple booths for like, dinners and stuff. But usually these places are enclosed. There's usually not a lot of windows that look in or out from these bars. Very interesting. I think the reason they do that is to make you feel like the sun isn't coming out yet. But it's also because they have these doors that usually have a doorbell. If you go there like after midnight, essentially, or after 10. You actually have to push a button for them to actually buzz you in. So that's actually quite common in lots of these local bars, especially for late night stuff. You find a lot of people in here that work in hotels. One time I actually was dropping off my truck at a mechanic, and it was like early. Had to be like 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I went into a bar that was very conveniently located like right next to the mechanic, and there was a guy just playing video poker in there like 9 o'clock having a beer, and that's sort of like the experience. And I had like bacon and eggs, and it's just kind of the experience that you get in Las Vegas. People just work different shifts, they get off at certain times, and that's kind of what you run into. So essentially like PTs, lodges, Distill, those are all very common like local spots that people really end up next to because they're next to their house, and that's usually what it is. I am not a huge proponent of these spots just because it's not my vibe. Like PTs is like where you go to just drown yourself in a beer and feel sorry for yourself, but they're also very convenient. So it is just one of those things you end up at, what you're getting when you end up at those spots. So no shade. It's just not my vibes. So let's get to stuff that is on the strip and downtown. So let's start off with, which one do we want to start off with? So we have to start off with the Peppermill. So Peppermill is a very, very famous cafe that is on Las Vegas Boulevard. It's a standalone restaurant on Las Vegas Boulevard, which is very, very rare. You don't really ever see a restaurant that stands alone on Las Vegas Boulevard that's not attached to a casino. It's been here for, since the 70s, and it used to be open 24 hours a day, every single day. Ever since the pandemic, this is, very sad to me because I tried to go there one time really late night, and they were not open, and that was because it was a weekday. It was like a Thursday or something. They are only open 24 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, most of the time, but Friday, Saturday for sure. So the Peppermill is also a fireside lounge, meaning that one half of the bar is like a retro, cool neon diner that serves diner food, diner classics. And then on the other side, they have a fireside lounge, which has actual, fire pits inside and really fun cocktails. I've only gone in there like once, and I think it was like during the daytime to see just what the fireside looked like. It's really funny because they have like these cocktail waitresses that wear these very long dresses that makes it feel like, elegant, even though, it is what it is. But really fun little spot to go to, especially if you want a little bit of Vegas film history. They did film, I believe, a scene or two of Casino inside of the fireside lounge. There's a scene where Sharon Stone in the very beginning of the movie where they're explaining, Sharon Stone was the love of my life, the perfect girl, and she looks up at the camera and she's sitting next to like a burning fire. That is the fireside lounge, just in case you wanted to, take a look at it. But you can also get drinks inside the diner as well. And then the cocktail waitresses from the fireside lounge will actually come out from the curtain and give you your drink in the diner area. So if you don't want to actually, do the diner, the fireside lounge is very dark. It's very moody. Really fun. It's a really fun bit of like Vegas old school vibes. It feels very like Swingers. If you've ever seen the movie Swingers, that's really what it has the beautiful babies, if you will. But no, the Peppermill is a really fun spot. And I work at Fontainebleau, like I've told you guys mostly. And someone asked me one time, is like, where is there like a close like dive bar to go to? On the Strip, there really are no dive bars. But the closest thing I could come to was the Peppermill, which I would say is not exactly a dive bar, but I would say it is the closest thing to it from where I was actually at. So I recommended that. I did also recommend places on in Main Street, which that has a lot of bars, and some of them could be considered dives, and really a lot of them are very trendy cocktail lounges. So wasn't super truthful if I would have sent him all the way down there. Although I did tell him to go to Viking Mike's, which would have been cool. So, by the way, if you want a good dive bar, it's not on the Strip, but it's called Starboard Tack, which is on Charleston, I believe. That place is definitely a dive bar. I am not a dive bar guy, so I'm really bad to ask about this. Also, another really good dive bar is at right next to UNLV, and it's called, oh my goodness, is it called The Library? I gotta check it out. So this is actually where, and they're open. They are open late night. I don't believe they're open 24 hours, but they are open late night. Library bar. Oh no! So yeah, that's not what I was looking for. Naked City Pizza. So Naked City Pizza is a very famous pizza and wing spot. I go there for their wings. But they are connected to a bar. Perfect. So the bar is called the Office Bar, and the Office Bar is a Buffalo Bills bar. So if you're ever in town and you actually do want to go, watch a Bills game with like Bills people, this is the place you want to go to. It's called the Office Bar, and needless to say, they are open. They are open 24 hours. So this is actually making it on our list. Very much a dive bar. They have pool tables in the back. They also are inside. They also have a really big, long bar. They have a bunch of TVs on. The beer is, quite cheap and very much what you would want to get out of a. It is very much like in a seedy area. Not gonna lie. It's right next to the Hofbräu House, which is next to the Virgin Hotel. So if you are staying at the Virgin Hotel and you wanted a divey bar, this is within walking distance. This is also part of what we call the Fruit Loop, which the Fruit Loop is just as you would think. It is the LGBTQ area of, not Las Vegas, but I would say next to UNLV, which is very well known. I've actually gone into another bar that's right next to it called the Double Down Saloon. The Double Down Saloon also open 24 hours. Wow, lots of 24-hour areas in this little spot here. Making sense that is right next to the Strip. But the Double Down Saloon is actually, even though it is... whenever you think of dive bar, this is like quite grimy, but it is actually quite famous for being one of the places that Anthony Bourdain had visited when he came to Las Vegas. He always went to very weird places when he came to Las Vegas, I'm not gonna lie, but he did end up going to the Double Down Saloon. This is where they have the world famous, and sorry mom for having to curse on the pod, but this is where they have the infamous ass juice drink, which is basically like served in like a little like toilet bowl looking thing. And if they don't have the toilet bowl, they'll still make the drink for you. But it is quite famous inside of the Double Down Saloon. And then right next to it is also called Bonfire, which it's really funny because one time I went to go see a friend perform at the Double Down Saloon, which is why I went in there. And it was the same night because it was like a Saturday. It was the same night that they were having like a big like drag queen event. So there's a very small parking lot that's right next to it, and I was going the wrong direction because there is like an in and out version, and you just see like this drag queen walking out saying, "Oh no, going the wrong way, honey. Gotta back it up. Gotta back it up, honey." And it was just so funny that like they were it was just like they were directing traffic, and it was just a weird thing to happen. But it was hysterical. So that area, Fruit Loop, is definitely as advertised. Lots of gay bars around there, like Quads and Piranha is a infamous nightclub, which is, again, it's an infamous gay club, where I've never been. I think every girl that I've ever talked to that's lived in Las Vegas for more than 10 years has at least once ended up at Piranha, which is a very, very famous gay club in town. So none of those things were on my agenda today, but they were all 24 hours, so that's fantastic. Naked City Pizza. Make sure you check them out for their wings. They are fantastic. And you can also order them when it's, during the business hours for Naked City Pizza at the Office Bar, if you want to end up at the Office Bar. Also, really great people inside there, too. Very cool. They will make fun of you for ordering ranch with your wings, but I still do, and they are delicious. So let's continue on. So let's get a little bit more touristy, if you will. So let's get down to Fremont Street. So Fremont Street, there are a couple of different places that will be open 24 hours. They have a place that's open late night, which is inside the Californian, which my mom actually had visited there when she was waiting for me to get off work one day. And she went to the Californian because she really, really wanted She really, really wanted to try a very famous late night dish that people line up for this. And I saw it. People stand in line. It's late night. It's at like after 10 o'clock. And let's see here. So I got to go through all the restaurants. So they go to, where is it at? It's right here. It's the Market Street Cafe. So it's called Market Street Cafe. And they are known for their, it even says critically acclaimed oxtail soup. They are known for their oxtail soup late night. They do have details on how to get these oxtail soups. They are $25, and this is only available, I believe, every night from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you can only get this famous oxtail soup from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Every night. I think for a while it was only like on the weekends, like Fridays and Saturdays. But it does look like they've extended it to all night. That's cool. And it's funny because like people go and like they'll just have like bowls in the middle of the table where they dump the bones from the oxtail soup. But yeah, the Californian, very, very famous spot to get late night oxtail soup, which is great if you're drunk and you're like up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want to have something that is super, super rich and like is just going to fill your belly. This is it. My mom had it and she actually said it was wonderful. It does come with like a side of rice as well. But she absolutely really loved it. They're also open 24 hours, so that's always kind of cool too. Love the old school cafes. My biggest gripe about what New Vegas is ruining, it is the 24-hour cafe. Every hotel should have a 24-hour standard cafe in your hotel. Just a standard cafe that serves everything: bacon, eggs, sandwiches, burgers, fries, a whole dinner if you want, steak and eggs at like a pretty reasonable price, I would say. So I would say these cafes make so much money for a hotel. They are like they like if you have one spot that is open overnight, people will eat there, especially in Vegas. That is very much 24-hour town. People are drinking. They want to eat something that isn't McDonald's. So why don't you give them that? So I don't know, man. Bring back 24-hour cafes. Take out one of like your like fancy schmancy like second breakfast restaurant for brunch, because who cares? Brunch sucks. You guys have probably never heard me do a brunch episode. That's because I think brunch sucks. So take out whatever brunch fancy schmancy thing that's only open like in the like weekends, and open up a 24-hour cafe, man. Open up the cafes. They're awesome. That's all I got to say. So, Market Street Cafe for oxtail soup. So, the one I actually wanted to talk about was actually at Circa, which is Saginaw's Delicatessens. And I would say, if I had to choose between these two, I probably would pick Market Street Cafe, just because I like that old school diner style. And Saginaw's is very much like new wave deli that has lots of these big giant sandwiches that my dad loves. My dad loves a deli sandwich. Like he loves like a Reuben or something that's just like on, like he'll do something that's on rye and just try it out. He likes like beef sandwiches, like with dry bread. Never understood it. I'm not a big deli sandwich guy. I tried it, hate it. But this place has many different options when it comes to that, and as well as breakfast. I have gone like late night to like East Fremont Street, and then walked back to Circa because that's where like we parked, and I was just trying to like sober up. So me and my friends, we went to Saginaw's and just ate breakfast and kind of got ourselves sobered up. And it is a great spot. It's very well lit, I have to say. You do feel safe because you're inside of a casino. It is a more expensive like late night thing that you would want, but Saginaw's super very big, but it's good. It's good, but it's in a nice little area, which is, always nice. Binion's also has like a really nice like 24-hour cafe, which is fantastic. No shortage of 24-hour things at the good old Fremont Street. So as we continue our trek for 24-hour things, this is actually quite popular. This is for anybody who enjoys the gentleman clubs in our fair city. At least if you're next to where the sort of strip club row is, like places like Sapphire and what's the other one? The other one is Spearmint Rhino, Treasures, Little Darlings, anything that's sort of like on that like road. What was it? Is it the Girl Chest? What's it called? The Treasure Chest or something like that. It's Girl Collection. That is the place that is owned by Floyd Mayweather Jr. Never been inside there, so I can't tell you what it's like. Also, that's where Cheetahs used to be down there, and it's now changed name. I think it's like a Mexican themed strip club. It's funny because you might ask, why do I know all these places? It's not because I've been inside of them. It's actually because you drive down those streets sometimes when you have to get from like south to north, because that is like the side streets to get away from the freeway to get to downtown. I don't recommend you go there if you don't know, how to drive around that area. But it is quite a good shortcut to get through all those little businesses to get to Fremont Street. But the reason I say that is because El Dorado Cantina, which has multiple locations in town, they have one off the 215. They used to have one in an area called, not the town center. I always forget the name of it. Oh my goodness. It's not there anymore. It doesn't matter. But the most famous El Dorado Cantina is actually connected to the Sapphire Gentlemen's Club. It literally shares a wall with the strip club, and it is separate. Essentially, it's totally different. So El Dorado Cantina it's always voted like best non-GMO Mexican restaurant in Las Vegas, which the Mexican food is fine. They have like fajitas, tacos, very standard. But they are open 24 hours, which is quite nice. It makes sense for a place that is next to an establishment that is also open 24 hours. A very popular thing about this place, besides being next to a strip club, is that they do serve roasted crickets, grasshoppers, if that's your thing. No, I have never had one. Yes, you do see dancers inside of El Dorado quite a bit. But it is a very popular place for people to go that is close to the strip, that is open 24 hours. It's right behind Resorts World and pretty prevalent. Like when you're driving on Sam Davis Jr. Drive, you will see El Dorado Cantina, but very, very famous spot. I've eaten at the one that's on the 215 with a couple friends for like a late night party kind of thing. Lots of industry people. Like once you get like after 2:00, it's nothing but people who like work in the industry that go to those spots. And it's usually very chill. They have like TNT on playing reruns of, Aquaman. I always remember that was playing. The food is decent, but lots of drinks. They're flowing. Also, cool thing about this city, we don't have a closing time, which is always nice. Although I don't stay up long enough to take advantage of all that. But no, El Dorado Cantina, super, super popular spot for late night if you are looking for it next to Resorts World, or if you're, partaked in some of the strip clubs, then that's a good spot to go to as well. So as we move down the list, we've hit Saginaw's, we've hit El Dorado Cantina, we've hit the Peppermill, we've hit some other things like Market Street Cafe at the Californian, which I didn't think we were going to even get to today. But let's get to the heavy hitters, the heavy duty spots. So probably the most trendy late night spot to go, like if you got a late night date and you're trying to like show off your Vegas, acumen, about the city, and that is Herbs and Rye, which is located, I believe, on Spring Mountain Road. I think it actually might be Charleston. I have to double check that. But Herbs and Rye is a very famous late night hangout spot for industry professionals, people who love, good cocktails, especially like the cocktail community loves Herbs and Rye. I just want to make sure I know what street this is on, because I always kind of like, this is actually one of the ones I have to type in. It's actually on Sahara. So it is on Sahara Avenue. So you have to keep that in mind. You have to go over that big bridge under the freeway, and then boop, Bob's your uncle. You are at Herbs and Rye. Herbs and Rye is essentially always popping, no matter the time of the day. Basically, if you are paying full price for a steak at Herbs and Rye, you are not doing it correctly. Herbs and Rye used to always be sort of like the gateway drug or gateway bar to like cocktail class, essentially. This is where all like the real hardcore mixologists would want to work. A lot of covers. It's sort of like it's where like the guys in the movie Cocktail, with Tom Cruise, like the place that they would have wanted to own. They would have wanted to own a place like this. Like they serve food, but the bartender and the bar are really the selling point. It's very dark in here, very moody, lots of like dark wood. It's actually almost styled like a New York style saloon. It's sort of shotgun style, big bar, very long. It takes up a whole space. And then like behind the seats at the bar, they have like a little walkway and then like booths where people sit. So it's very, very tiny in there, and especially if you go like at 8:30 or like 9 o'clock, it's packed, almost impossible. But they do take reservations, and they do have like a separate part of the restaurant or the bar and restaurant where you can, have like a regular dinner. I don't like that area though. Like I really don't. I enjoy like the bar area because I've sat in the dining room area and I'm like, I don't like it. It's just like too noisy. Like the service isn't good. The bartenders are fantastic though, so nothing against the bartenders, but I don't know. It's always a problem for me. So, anyways, they are known for their steak though, and they do have obviously pasta as well. Very large menu. I think the food is fine, but you do get lots of there's like lots of happy hours, which is a big deal there. So I just want to make sure that I'm popping it in right. So they're open Monday through Saturday, so they are closed on Sunday, and they're open from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. So not quite 24 hours, but they are open late night So this is a good place to go, like at 1 o'clock in the morning. This is usually where they have like happy hour or reverse happy hour. So usually, if a steak is, let's just say, $65 or $60, it is half price. So the steak ends up being like $30. So always take a look and see that you are arriving during their happy hour time, which I want to double check and see what time's their happy hour. What time is there we go. What time is Herbs and Rye happy hour? So Saturday 5 to 8, that is their happy hour menu, and then they usually have like a reverse happy hour late at night as well. What is this? What is Frank Sinatra's favorite steakhouse? The Golden Steer? It's debatable. You gotta love Google. So Herbs and Rye, they will make any cocktail you want. This is definitely like a hardcore, you're going here to drink spot, but they do serve food, obviously. So steaks are really what they're known for. They do have pastas. They have really great sides. This is very much, I think, anybody who's in their like 20s, or this used to be, when they were in their 20s and, mid-20s, this was the spot they would go to. Like, this was like they're trying to impress people. Like, let's go to Herbs and Rye. I would say there are better like late night spots that I would recommend. Like, my favorite is Nocturno, which is coming up on celebrating their 1-year anniversary, which I think is on May 29th. So if you are in Las Vegas during that time, they are doing like kind of a whole thing. Like, they have like tattoos. They're going to have a mural being unveiled, which I think that would be great for Nocturno to have a mural in front of their property. I think it's going to look so cool. And then they also, of course, are going to have like, drinks provided by Nocturno, and I think food by Milpa, which is like their sister or like sort of parent company. But they have like a great like late night menu to go to, and it feels like a late night spot. Like, Nocturno feels like a late night spot, even though I've never been there like super duper late, but that's a cool spot to go for late night drinks for sure. So love Nocturno. What time do they close? I've actually never been there like when they close. Nocturno. Let's check it out. So Nocturno, they close at 1 a.m. on the weekdays and then 2 a.m. on the weekends, which I wouldn't consider late night, but if you're there like, later in the night, you can end up going there. Very popular on Sundays, though. Sundays, they do Sando Sundays, which they do burgers, which is what they're known for. So as we continue on, so we did Herbs and Rye. Another really popular spot, this is on the Strip. There's also one on South Las Vegas Boulevard, so past Mandalay Bay, next to Town Square. This is my brother's favorite spot when he comes to Las Vegas, and it's his thing. Tacos El Gordo. Tacos El Gordo, the one that is located, I believe, on Las Vegas Boulevard, which that one, let's just double check here. That one is open. That one is open till 2 a.m. So in terms of food, it is open semi-late night. Late night, I would count anything like after 2 or 3 o'clock. But Tacos El Gordo, extremely popular, especially late at night for people to get a couple drinks in before they go to sleep or before they, continue on with the rest of their night. Super long lines, just so you know. The tacos themselves, I think, are just fine. But some people like really revere Tacos El Gordo. I like to go to the one that's on next to Town Square because it's bigger. I think it's nicer. More locals, more like a local thing. And I usually get my food and I take it to go because I kind of live close by, and pretty good. But yeah, Tacos El Gordo I like to get, like if I watch a movie like late night, I like to go to Tacos El Gordo. Really popular like late night date spot too. So that's really a cool thing to do as well. So Tacos El Gordo. So I think I covered almost all of them, but this one is going to be my absolute favorite. Really one of my favorites. And this is at the South Point Hotel, the world famous, and when I say world, I mean between our area codes in Las Vegas, and that is the Coronado Cafe. The Coronado Cafe, 24 hours, old school cafe. They don't make them like this anymore, everybody. They can make anything that you want, old school menu, delicious soda. When you just drink it, it's just like you get revived. And more importantly, this is home of the $3, might be $4, steak and eggs after midnight. So between 12 and 6 a.m., steak and eggs are only, I believe, $4. And it's literally, people will line up at 11:45 to get steak and eggs at Coronado Cafe. I absolutely love Coronado Cafe. I love these type of cafes. We need more of them. I think it's like the Pretty Penny or the Penny Cafe at like Green Valley Ranch and Red Rock Canyon. Red Rock. Those places are great. We need more of those places, but this place feels old school. I think Cornell they can make anything you want. They have great specials every day of the week. My dad loves their turkey dinner with extra cranberries. My dad gets like shit in his head and like that's his thing, but he loves their turkey dinner, which is, my dad's a random person sometimes, but he loves it. So I forget what day it is. I think that's like a Thursday, and I think meatloaf is like on Friday or Saturday. It's just random, but their steak and eggs is what people are known for. So that's what you do there. By the way, we do have a couple other 24-hour things in town. So our bowling alleys are open 24 hours after midnight, or after 10 o'clock. I forget which one, midnight. I think after midnight, you have to be obviously 21 years or over. And you do get, I think, dollar bowling after midnight. So it's super popular. People love to do that. There's nail salons that are open 24 hours that do pretty good work right next to the Las Vegas Strip. And what else is open 24 hours? I think that's it. There's obviously more stuff that's open 24 hours, but I couldn't think about it off the top of my head. So with that being said, thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Really appreciate it. I know this came out a little bit later than you guys are usually used to, but yeah, it just happened that way. So thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate it. Make sure you follow us, Concierge Confidential _LV on Instagram, Brian _Ortega26 on the gram as well, and at Keys to Vegas on TikTok. So thanks again, everybody. I'll see you out in town. If you see me out here, come up and say hello. But remember, keep it confidential.